Good morning. Welcome to Eat Your Backyard YouTube channel, where I tell you all about things that I'm into. Look at that, the rare black panther of Florida. Or it's just a common house cat. Hello, kitty. So today I'm going to take you to look at some bananas that are growing wild and have been for some time now, that I'm very curious about. I want to expand the number of banana varieties I have, and I'm curious what varieties do well in this particular local area. So let's go for a walk down this nature trail. In the meantime, I can show you some things that grow locally in Florida habitat, like this type of ground covering palm tree, wild grapes. They call those low palm scrub palms. And you can see, whoa, almost fell in a hole. This is the sign of a managed forest. It's been burned, controlled burned, of this area, which is really quite critical for the health of these forests. And you can see a Florida classic, the Stinka Vinca. The Vinca flower grows wild everywhere. There's a white variety right there. Call them Stinka Vincas because if you've ever picked a Vinca flower and given it a smell, you know. So many things growing here. People have planted cool plants over the years, and as is to be expected, just wild grapes everywhere. And even a Scheffalera, a gigantic Scheffalera. Look at that. I wonder if the birds planted that, or if it just grew there wild. All right, so let's see. I know there's some bananas back here. Again, this is near a water cleaning pond that they use to 3-stage clean stormwater before it goes back into the world, so to speak, the larger world. Here we are. Banana Bay. Welcome to Banana Bay. And who knows what the history is here other than people planted bananas. Certainly. It did not just happen here naturally. And it's always interesting to me to see the kinds of things that get kind of planted in these corners of the world. Certainly bananas, but also papyrus. That's papyrus right in there. Very interesting. And then there's another type of fruit tree right in the back there. And I don't know what that is exactly. We'll go take a look at that. And then as you go around, more bananas, more bananas. My guess is all the same variety, but it would be interesting to know. And then a pretty large banana stand over there, which I could probably grab one banana from and taste it to see if it's worth moving on, or even that if it has seeds, which I know some bananas do, as odd as that sounds. You get a large turtle. No, that's a coconut. Yeah, so the papyrus loves the water, of course. You can even see a little bass swimming around there by the corner of it. So these bananas look pretty hardy. I would look to know if it was a Cavendish type of banana by the young growth having that blackness on the leaves, and I certainly don't see that. The other thing I'd look for is to see if it was a Musa banana variety, and it does not seem to be, because it does not have that deep redness, at least not the type of Musa I have. But lots of healthy pups growing. Good healthy banana grove here, actually. Oh, what do I see? Here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is an odd looking banana. Wild bananas. That is super cool. And they're almost ripe. Yeah, I may grab one of those bananas to try them. see if they're good. But that's the proof in the pudding, and they do not look like the bananas I'm growing, so I'm pretty confident it is a different variety. There, that's a good exposure. Yeah, I like that effect growing up there by the... So there's a few ways we can try to identify these bananas. One is by the fruit, if we're lucky enough. Another is by the leaves and the colors in the main part of it, but ultimately it's a mystery of some sort. But how much do you have to know about a banana variety to love it? I just want to know that it's delicious and it produces something new and novel, and this one certainly does. Look at those things. Man, that's cool. And they are totally different looking, much larger looking than the bananas I have, the two varieties I have. Now, what is this thing? I'm hoping you can tell me. You know, lots of people will watch this stream moving forward, and I wonder what this is. I don't see any fruit in it, but since that was a fruit over there, I have a feeling this is also fruit. I do not know what it is. It's growing fairly healthy, that's for sure. Seems to like growing right up in that water. And try not to step on a water moccasin. That's my goal today. Just keeping an eye down as well. So no fruit. Ooh, no, I take it back. There is a fruit up there. So it is a fruit tree. Yeah. Okay. I almost want to say sour sop. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or if I'm right. Tell me. More bananas. These look similar to the bananas that were down we just looked at. I don't see any additional fruit, but my guess is there'll be more fruit. Not too many pups here. There's one pup down there growing right next to the water. This is alligator territory, folks. Okay, and here's a beautiful cypress tree somebody had planted. I believe those were planted as part of the original scheme here. Okay, now look at these. We might have something interesting going on. After all, look at how red those stalks are, how red that banana is compared to the ones we just looked at. And again, super red. Now this one seems to me like a much higher chance of being a Musa. Now I don't see the fruit though, which would be another good indicator. But somebody was doing cool things here, because they didn't just come in and plant one variety 1,000 times. It looks like people have come in here and planted several varieties. And who does? There's another one of those fruit trees there. So there's two of those. Interesting. Look at this. Just in a short time, we're discovering so many different things. Now here's another clump of bananas. Again, looking down. Hey, Somali Flame. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Okay. And this is, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is a third and different variety of bananas. That is so cool. Okay, now these are gigantic. I didn't realize how much bigger these were than the others, but these are big boys. I mean, that is a good 20 feet tall. And look at the pups on these. Nothing like the pups on those other bananas. Big, hardy. This is the kind that is meant to be in the wide open world here. Oh man, and what do I see up there? I see the bananas. Now these bananas look very much like, oh look at that, there's bananas hanging over the water there. I don't know if you can see all the fish. Anywhere you are in Florida, there's a puddle to something bigger, you're gonna see so many fish. Just swarming with guppies. There is a banana hand. So 2 hands of bananas right now. Beautiful little banana flower. Hey Superman, welcome. What's good? Yeah, this is real good. We just found, I just decided to come look at some wild bananas that were growing locally, and I found, I think, 3 varieties. But I'll tell you, the fruit that's on this variety looks a lot like the fruit that was on the first one I looked at. But it's just that these pups look so much different, so much bigger and vigorous. Who knows? But they are higher on the bank, so lots of things to consider. I don't see that redness in the trunk. as much. This could be the same as that first variety, just, you know, better circumstance. Yeah, that's a mega clump, Wallace Wheeler. Mega. And healthy. And look at that. You know, they like this, just all the debris just collapsing and serving as banana compost. I'm gonna keep moving here. The mosquitoes have found me, and they find me to be delicious, in case you were wondering. I am to the mosquito what the banana is to me. A sweet treat. So yeah, these definitely have the reddish color, definitely a shorter type. And even from, you can tell just the height of these, you know, I could probably reach my hand up above every single one, the height of every single one of those in the clump. It's got to be a fairly old clump, just because there's so many. And this one, you can just see how much taller it is. It's a good twice as big. And I don't give these cypress trees a big positive chance here. You can see they just, this one side is just completely just scratched out of leaves and needles and turning brown. And that's because we've had sea breeze from Tropical Storm Ada over the last week. And it just chews up anything that's not salt tolerant or can't take that salt breeze. And certainly that's one good example, but still cool. It's a novelty beachside in Florida to see one of those. So here it is. I just don't think this is the same variety as that first one. I mean, you can see the pups here, and there are pups, and they just don't resemble that other clump at all. The kind of droopy leaves. So I'm going to say this is different, and I don't see them achieving the same height. So I think what we've got here is 3 varieties of bananas. I love this. Call this guerrilla landscaping. You know, people like you and I and others who are in the know. What I mean by that is we know how to grow a thing or two. Start planting things like this around, and sometimes they take root on these corners. And then, wouldn't it be cool if the whole world just decided, let's plant food everywhere? Seems to me that would make perfect sense. I didn't see any signs for that, but maybe we should make one. Plant food. You won't regret it, or I guess you will regret it as you fill up your yard waste with all the food you can't eat. But at the point where you don't have that luxury, well, wouldn't it be cool if every pond had 3 clumps of bananas on it in Florida? Horse bananas. Hey, David the Good, do you think that those are horse bananas? I'm really curious about that. That's the first time I've heard that term. That's super cool to know that. Yeah, 'cause I've heard that some of the bananas are no good. It's funny, where I grew up on a farm in the northern area of the world, we had horse corn, which was a lot like regular sweet corn, but just not as sweet. Grew faster, more vigorous. Oh, large grove of them. Yeah. What were the fruit like, though, David? Did you have a chance to try the fruit? I've heard some of the fruit of wild bananas can have seeds in it. I'm just so confused by that. I would love to know. I'm definitely going to give these bananas a try. Yeah, I'm going to show the fruit right now. Did you hear that? As a giant blue heron just dive bombed directly in to it. Okay, I'm gonna try one. Banana juice. Capture the drip. Okay, that's an interesting looking banana. It really doesn't look like my bananas. My bananas are Musa and Cavendish dwarf, and the shape of this with that distinct rib, it's a very odd shape of banana compared to the the ones that I have. So I'm really fascinated. Yeah, this one's still, it's just a little firm. I'm gonna let it counter ripen. I'll give it a try. You know, that's the other cool thing about wild fruit. You know, I love the idea that kids and whatever, you know, just come down here and fish and can pick a banana and eat a banana while they catch a bass. And well, I guess they'd have to just do one at a time. Maybe they make a lure out of a banana and catch the biggest bass in the pond. So anyhow, yeah, cool live stream. I appreciate everybody jumping on. I think I'm gonna live stream one more time this evening. Maybe do a demo on how to grow something. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. David the Good. They seem to be the most common banana wild form in Florida, in the Caribbean. That's interesting. Katuk. I looked a little bit into Katuk, Somali Flame, but I haven't completed my research. I have a feeling I will find them now, though, that you have put me on the path. Yeah, there are a few other cool varieties of new edibles that I'm going to show on the channel here coming up. I've got a few friends that have some really interesting yards, and I'll be asking them about Katuk. I'll have a list of things to ask. Yeah, so there you go. Living the dream. Eat your backyard. I mean, eat your retention ditch. Who knows what kind of chemicals are in that? Who knows what kind of chemicals are in anything, quite honestly. But food is food at some level. So I think I'm going to continue to explore these banana possibilities, and bananas that grow this confidently are certainly in the picking, and I think this little grove here is showing me that this is a smaller kind, and that one over there is gigantic, but you know, and that one I'm saying Musa. And all they need here is a nice Cavendish clump. Maybe I'll come and stick a Cavendish pup in the bank. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna donate the Cavendish puppery to the Banana Grove, Banana Bay. All right, let's see here. As we walk back through the path here, I'll try to point out just some edibles. See how many edibles we can find just on the short walk back the path that we came in on. I'll see what, okay, so we'll just start here, counting. That's muscadine grapes, I believe. Wild muscadine grapes. Now, I don't know if the scrub palms are edible. I know they're edible to the plants and animals. And I have a feeling this one is, I don't know about this one, but something in me is remembering that I read in a book one time, this type, something that looked like this had some type of use. But I'm not going to commit to it, so don't quote me on that one. The Schefflera, definitely not edible. Yeah, here, you see, this is that same plant again. And it's got these berries that look totally poisonous. If I had to give them a, you know, the mom test, the mom and dad test, are those poisonous? Yeah, they're poisonous. Yeah, wild coffee, right, David? That rings a bell with me. I don't know if that is just simply the most poisonous berry on earth or the most delicious and useful thing I've ever discovered, or somewhere in between. Here, let's plant another one. Why not? There you go. Oh, that's cool. So you know that one. Wow, David the Good, you need to be on this stream every day, my bro. Because David the Good is giving a lot of good information. I've already learned at least 3 things. Okay, keep looking. Now, certainly the sable palm, classic palm of all southern areas of the east coast of the United States. This one, fairly well grown, but you could see smaller new growth like this one, sable palm, is you know, the kind that people typically use to eat the heart of palm. I don't do that. I don't think think it's worth it. It's not that great to me, heart of palm, but you know, that is an edible. Like I said, in a different circumstance where you had to survive on food, that would certainly be on the list. You needed a dose of Florida, David. Yeah, thank you. Well, here you go. You got your dose. It's a windy dose of Florida. Exactly the percentage required. More grapes, just grapes everywhere, and that certainly that coffee looking like plant is prolific here and making me think I ought to maybe get one of those berries and plant it in my own yard. I hope I turned on live replay of the chat on this too. I gotta remember, I need a little checklist every morning when I do this now that I've started to live stream all the time. This is an interesting tree. I'm gonna guess somebody planted this here, and it's potentially edible. This, in fact, isn't it fun identifying stuff? And the cool thing in Florida is people just been planting things everywhere. Like every pond that there is, you know, some kid came with a bucket full of whatever and threw it in there, and you know, you'd be like, a 10 by 10 foot pond, and go, is that a baby tarpon swimming in that? Could that even, you know, and it is. But anyway, this is hard for me to know what it is. I was almost going to say it could be a longan tree, but now with a little bit more analysis, I would say no. It has that very familiar leaf pattern of a, maybe even a star fruit, but it certainly I don't think is. It certainly resembles the leaf pattern. Yeah, so that one potentially too. I'm gonna not be able to identify that one. Maybe somebody who watches this can, and we'll leave it in the comments. I hope you do. By the way, if you want to support the channel, it should be fairly easy. All you have to do is click on the links in the description. By the way, I appreciate it a whole heck of a lot. Getting new equipment to make these live streams better too. Just slightly better phone. This is on a Galaxy S8, which is kind of a dinosaur, so to speak, for streaming. I think I'm going to get one of the newer Samsungs probably. But anyway, yeah, so I digress. If you want to support the channel, the easiest way to do it is to go click on the links in the description to Amazon. You know, really, like if you were going to go ahead and get something on Amazon already, that would be the time to go click it. Or if you know, I also provide a lot of links to trees and plants and things that I talk about in these videos. Some of the easiest ways to get this stuff, I think, is just ordering them online. You know, of course, if you have a local option, I would explore that first. I think that just makes sense. And prior to that local option of buying it, I think the better option to explore is to ask your neighbors who have things that you are into if you can get the permission to take a cutting, you know, which is what I do all the time. And I think that does a few things. That shows your interest in them, and you get to make a connection with somebody in a positive way. But you also get to form a sense of community, which is kind of what we end up doing on this channel. So thanks for joining. David, glad I was able to provide a little bit of Florida time for you. I know it's not as warm and balmy in all other areas of the country. This was certainly a more pleasant stream than last night, where I did my first evening live stream and was essentially consumed by mosquitoes for the 13 minutes straight. This was very pleasant and didn't even get bit by a snake. So I'm going to call that a big win. Hey, thanks for watching. If you are not subscribed already, thanks Somali Flame. Appreciate it. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. I always like that, but you have to turn on the notifications bell. There's a, you know, you turn on the notifications, and then you have to go in and say notify me, you know, all the time or whatever, to get notified as these streams come up. A lot of you already have it, which is why you're able to jump right on here. Yeah, have a great week. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. It's fun, a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this a lot. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Keep it positive, keep it real. Enjoy it.